Hi guys, here we are with a sketchbook session today. So glad you're joining me today. Maybe you're working with your sketchbook, which would be really cool. Maybe you're doing some artwork or just following along watching the video. Any of those ways is okay with me. Um, so first time doing a sketchbook session, most of the things have been, like speed paints and stuff like that. I've been trying to get into doing more work in the sketchbook and more spreads, really, like where, everything that I'm working on in the sketchbook kind of correlates together and looks pretty. Doesn't always work. In the past, the sketchbooks that I've kept loosely, which I say kept almost in quotations because I have probably 10,004 sketchbooks, all with various pages started, but nowhere even near finished with most of them. And they're not mostly like finished work. Little pieces here that some are almost finished. Some are maybe one or two things go together and then something totally out of right field or whatever. So I'm just trying to be more intentional. I've got the Royal Talons sketchbook. I was watching somebody's video and they were talking about how versatile it was and that it was really good with marker, colored pencil, gouache, acrylic gouache, even watercolor. I think watercolor, how I've tried it, which is just briefly, is okay as long as you do light washes. However, it really is true. I think it is really versatile. And so I have been trying to make a new sketchbook habit with it. And so that's what you're looking at here today, trying to have an intentional spread. Today's is more plants and there's some swallows. So I don't know how the swallows tie in, but, we're loosely tying everything together. So this right here that I'm drawing is like a plant in one of those light bulbs, like the clear base light bulbs, and it's going to be hanging from the top. And so I've included the drawings on each one of these. So you guys will have to let me know if you like the drawings included or if you would rather just see the coloring or, in fact, just let me know in general if there's stuff that you'd like to see. This is a very new channel. In fact, while we're talking about it being a channel, if you guys could do me a huge favor and go ahead and like and subscribe the video, that would be super awesome. As a new little channel, I need all the help I can get for it to be put out in the algorithm so that people get to see it. So keeping a sketchbook, I've always tried to do the years. I don't know if anybody else is like this as well. I would say 90% of the artwork that I would try to do would be free sheets of paper, on some good paper, some not, what have you. But it was not so much in sketchbooks because it never seemed like whatever new sketchbook, it was like, well, this one's really good with watercolor, but today I really want to do something with colored pencil or this or that. And it just always seemed whatever book I had, I wanted to try something different. And I don't know if that's just me always wanting to try something new or it just seemed like none of them were as versatile as I needed. And so there's actually another sketchbook that I want to start. Although I don't know if I should start another one when I've just started this one, trying to keep one. This one is the Stillman and Burn series, and it's another one that I think is going to be more versatile. And in fact, I think it will handle the watercolor and gouache a little bit better. It, though, has a lot fewer pages and about to take a trip to Vegas, and I was kind of toying with the idea of, starting with just a travel sketchbook and maybe doing artwork there in that sketchbook, and whatever pictures and different stuff that I capture there, finishing it out, whatever doesn't get finished on the actual trip. So I'm kind of toying with that idea. It seems like that'll make a good sketchbook, but I haven't actually tried that one out yet. So let me know if that sounds like something you guys would be interested in. I've also got to figure out what art supplies I'm going to take with me. You can't take everything, and it's really hard to pick what you're going to limit yourself to. So if you guys want to see what decisions I'm making with that and how that goes along, let me know, and we can make a video. I can show the sketchbook and, what I'm going to be taking. And I think sometimes it's good to limit yourself with the supplies. It sometimes is paralyzing when you have so many options. Like, it's bad enough that you've got the blank page staring at you, and you've got to figure out what you're going to draw, what genre or how, watercolor or pen and ink, or is it going to be an animal? Is it going to be a portrait? But then, it's like, what kind of medium are you going to use? It's like so many choices can be paralyzing. Just picking out the pictures alone can take hours if you get stuck in like a Pinterest hole. And, 4 hours later, you've got 400 pictures that you might want to draw one day, and you've kind of don't have the energy to even do the artwork anymore. If you're anything like me, that's happened to me a couple times. So I think sometimes it's good to pick something super quick, within, don't let yourself spin out of control on what you're going to do. Kind of limit it to a certain amount of time and say, all right, this is what I'm going to do, better or worse. And then it's the same thing, I think, with the medium. If you only have markers and watercolor, or, colored pencil and watercolor, then that's it. You don't have any other options. And sometimes those decisions that you don't have to make, keeps your mind freer. I don't know. Sometimes things tend to flow more when you don't have to make those decisions, I think, anyway. I don't know. Let me know if anybody else is the same. But so as you can see, we can jump back to what I'm actually drawing in here. So this was a plant picture that I found in Pinterest. It's one of those, I'm really bad with the names of plants. This is that, it's not really like an elephant ear plant. I think it's somewhere along in that family, but it's almost like a big palm leaf type plant. And it's kind of like a basket type pot that it's in. And then, so the first one that I drew with the light bulb, that flower, that was also a picture from either Instagram or Pinterest or something like that I saw. And the two that I'm about to draw, it's going to be, there's like a lemon tree in the middle, and then kind of like a daisy or geranium type plant. Those two, I just kind of winged it and did it from my imagination. I know some people do that a lot. Like, they can just sit there and draw like straight from their head. I mean, I think the more I'm in practice of having a sketchbook practice or just drawing and painting in general, I can do that a little bit more. But I'm one of those people that like to have some sort of subject that I'm looking at, whether I'm following along with it loosely or, more exact, something to kind of follow along with. But these two, I went ahead and winged it. We have a lemon tree in the backyard, and that was the kind of idea on that. Although it doesn't look as good, and there is no lemons on that tree in the backyard. So, I took liberties there. But my sister-in-law, they have a lemon tree over there, and she actually does have lemons on it. And so between the one in the backyard that's lacking, and hers, I kind of had an image in my head how they're tall and kind of that round ball at the top. And then the other plant, I think it was a culmination of, a bunch of different pictures that I was looking at. I don't know if anybody else does that. You kind of take pieces of this image and this image and this image and kind of put it together and turn it into your own image, essentially. So also I used markers on today's sketchbook session, and I have a pretty good selection of Copics, and I got a good set of the Ohuhu pastels, and there's various other markers from like Sketchbox, and some other subscriptions that I was a part of for a while. So I've got a few, like 3 of this kind or 4 of this kind, and I would say most of them are all really good. And I've got some Prismacolor ones and some various other ones. The only ones I really don't like that I've tried are the Master's Touch ones, like the knockoff Hobby Lobby brand. Most of those, it's just the color. I don't know. It's something about the ink, the way that is in there. But that being said, that I've got like a big marker collection. For some reason, I do not often sit down and do any marker renderings, and so I've been trying to do that a little bit more. And I feel like in this session, I learned a lot, really. I guess that's the way it goes. The more you do of something, the more you pick up and learn how to do it, and the little tricks that go along with it. Most of those marker sets, when you get them, they've got that colorless blender, and a lot of people don't know how to use it, including me, up till, still probably now. I don't, I think it just pushes ink, really, and you can do lots of different things with it, but it doesn't really blend as much as you would think. It more pushes ink around. And what I didn't realize as much before, and it just kind of dawned on me, and maybe everybody else knows, and I'm just slow to the party, but the lighter color markers also push ink. I think all of them push the ink around, but you can use like the lighter colors basically as a blender. Like, yeah, I knew that as to like blend a flower from light to dark. You use like the lighter, the medium, the dark, and stuff like that. I knew it that way, but you'll see later on as I'm rendering, I used it to like the leaves on the plant all the way to the left. So, painting it or coloring it all in the green, the darker green, and then taking a lighter green and going in and pushing the darker green away to make the lines. So like the highlighted lines are the darker lines, and same for like the veins with the leaves in some of the other ones, like the geranium looking one that I'm going to be drawing next. So I would draw the leaf in green, and then do the lighter color and push it so that you're just seeing that darker green where the veins are. And so it was kind of like a little aha moment with that. And maybe everybody uses it that way. I really just have blended where it's more that you start with a lighter color and you go into dark, or vice versa. Not really like putting a color down and then another color to push that out of the way to leave various marks on there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so it was good to finally do like a whole marker spread. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done some and I've used some. I just wish that I would use them more. And I know Copic does the refills, and I think even Ohuhu does now. So I'll probably have to look into that. The more you use them, then even I've had a lot of these markers for a while, and they're kept and stored properly. But even still, like, there were a lot of them that were dried out here and there, and it stinks. You've had something for so long that you want to use, and it's like, if you don't use it, you know, so, is anyone ever like precious with their art supplies? You want to hold on to it. Either it was expensive or it's your favorite, and, you're super precious with it. You don't want to use it because you don't want it to run out. And then sure enough, like, it's dried up, or this is, whatever has happened to it. So it's like, it just reminds you, and some of those markers, that, because I've been precious with the markers, I want to make sure that I'm not just using them on anything, and then a lot of them aren't even good now. So, and it just encourages me to use them with sketchbook, just use them in general, like all art supplies, gotta live in the moment, I think. Not so much in the future, because things don't always last, So this is the plant that I was talking about, like the geranium looking plant that, excuse me, that when I figured out what I was talking about with the marker on these leaves right here. So I did the whole thing in one color, and then in between the veins, I would push out with the lighter color. And when it gets to that spot, I'll show it. It's funny, drawing in pencil in the sketchbook. I'm trying to get into where I'm doing more of a daily sketching process. And I don't know if anybody has any like daily practices that they do, but I swear, like, the more, even if it's not something that's super long and intense, just even if it's 5 minutes of drawing or whatever, I think the more you do, the better it is, the better you are at just being able to pick up and draw what you're needing to draw, over the years, I guess I have always kind of gotten into like spurts of doing more artwork for a few months and then not for a while. Excuse me. And so I never realized the benefit of really doing a regular drawing practice, whether it's something you're, wanting for artwork or just to simply draw and practice your craft. And I'm really realizing now what a benefit it is. Not only are you having epiphanies with markers and such, but the whole experience is better. You're not rusty, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, which I suppose makes sense when you think about it. But, like, it's hard to remember to sit down and do the things you want to do like that. It's always, you got to figure out what to draw and what have you. But I think if you just don't let those things stop you and just go for it, it doesn't matter what you draw when it's practice stuff like that. You can't let that stuff get in the way. Just draw whatever it is. And then, I don't know, like, I have like a running files that I save, or screenshots and stuff that I save stuff now, so that I'm not spinning my wheels. Like, there's a running list kind of pictures and different things that I want to draw or paint or do whatever, so that I don't have to get on Pinterest at all. If that way I don't spend, lose an hour on looking for things to draw or new ideas and stuff like that. I think it's better when I don't get on there, because then you don't spin your wheels and get your mind going in too many different places on different things you're going to create. You can kind of jump right into the artwork. So these are the swallows that it's almost kind of like a flash tattoo. Swallows. The swallows came out okay. Like, one came out better than the other. Other than that, the spread as a whole is okay. I was debating at the end to going with watercolors. And I think there's a lot of people that do that with markers and with watercolors. And I think sometimes I think it looks really good. And then sometimes I feel like, at least when I do it, that I'm kind of ruining some of it. So I always hesitate to, you know, especially if I'm liking it, to go in and make it better, because it might go the other way. But I think the more you're not scared to do things and kind of just go in and just do it, the more you realize you're not ruining things. And if something's not looking right, or it looks like it needs more, you don't want to not do it and leave it where it could look better because you're afraid to ruin something or what have you. But so getting to the end of we're drawing the swallows here, and then it will start with the marker thing. So I'll probably jump in and out with the narration. That way I'm not talking y'all's ear off through the whole thing. You guys will have to let me know. I like narration a lot when I'm watching people do artwork and stuff like that. And then sometimes it's nice just to watch them draw some of it. So, let me know. I'm also going to try to do some videos, more real time, where like you guys are hanging out with me while I'm actually drawing and painting the thing. I think that was daunting at first because it's a lot of, I guess it's a lot to record yourself and be on, like trying not to make a mistake because you're recording it and stuff like that. I've gotten a little bit more used to that and just recording everything, but then trying to talk and do the video along at the same time. We'll have to see. I haven't tried that yet. So I think it would be cool. I think it has to stay smaller things because I think it will distract me and it'll take even longer, which I think I am a slowpoke at drawing and painting anyway. So I think it has to be smaller pieces, at least that I start out on, because I don't know, maybe I would get better as it goes along at, talking while I'm doing it and stuff. But you guys will have to let me know what you think about that. And also, if there's anything that you guys want to see next, or if there's a sketchbook spread that you've wanted to do or something like that, but you're looking for ideas or what have you, like throw some ideas my way. I'm open to a lot of things and trying a lot of videos and stuff like that. So, like I said, so I will probably put some chill music on so you guys can continue to watch on. And if you're working in your own sketchbook or artwork, continuing on with that. And then I'll jump back in probably to talk about anything, especially the little marker stuff that I was talking about where, with the light and dark colors, I'll pop back in and start explaining what I was meaning while it's going on the screen. So this is kind of the spot that I was talking about earlier with the thing I was talking about with the lighter marker pushing the darker marker. So you just saw that I colored that leaf in with the darker marker and then grabbed the lighter color green and colored like basically in between the veins. So watch, so switching to the lighter one here, and I'm just coloring like in between the veins. And it's pushing that darker green to the outlines and then just to outline the veins. And I mean, maybe it's something people do all over the place, like, but for me, I'd never really thought about it in that aspect. Normally, I think I would, do the darker green where the shadow area is and travel, like do a medium green or, blend it into the lighter area where there's a highlight. I mean, I have used the blending or the blender marker for highlights and stuff before, but not really like this to like push the whole thing. I thought it was pretty cool. I have also played around with using the blending marker to do different textures and things. And I think you can do the same thing with the lighter color markers, I just really never thought about it in that instance. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. Do you guys use that technique all the time? And I'm just, figuring it out, but I absolutely love it. And then the first leaf, I just realized, watching this back, I went back and sort of darkened up the veins and the outline and stuff after I did it. And on the other ones, I didn't. And I wonder which way looks better. I suppose that's just one of those things you can play around with. And, or like, you're coloring with colored pencil later, you can, push that dark even darker and the lights even lighter, or what have you. But then, so I figured that out here on these leaves, and then, I'm using it all over the place on the next few drawings on this spread. I thought it was really cool. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if you push the ink around with other markers like that instead of just blending, from, dark to light or light to dark or what have you, like in a linear fashion. But if you're like actually pushing the ink a little bit more, I've pushed it also where, say if you're coloring and you go outside the lines, so you can grab the blender marker. I don't know if anyone has ever done that or realized you can do that. If you color outside the lines with a marker, then you can take the blender marker and kind of push it. You go even farther outside the lines and color that, put a bunch of that blender ink so that it pushes whatever ink color that is back into whatever you were coloring. And that's a really cool trick, because there's nothing worse than like you're coloring a whole marker, picture or what have you, and you accidentally slip or and you got this big red like oops mark staring at you, and it's super hard to cover up, so that's a good way to fix it. Or it doesn't always work perfectly as a whole cover up, but it certainly makes stuff less noticeable. And along the lighter colors and stuff, it will pretty much almost take it completely away. So I even was doing it on the lemons. I was more kind of blending like old school with the dark into the lights and stuff, and trying different ways, like flicking the marker or dabbing it, playing around. Because like I said, I don't use the markers all the time. I love them, but I just don't use them all the time. And so, but on these leaves, I was even doing the thing, pushing. It works really good, I think, on plants and stuff with the veins. And on that leaf that's all the way on the left with that plant, I thought those came out so cool because of that thing with the lines, the way that was pushed and then the dark into the light. I thought it came out really cool, especially for not using the markers. Not using the markers in a long time, I thought it was pretty fun. So I hope you guys are following along. And if you have any questions about anything or, um, about how something was done, or I'm going to try to, in the description, include any, I'm going to include in the description, like the different kinds of markers, everything that I was using in here as much as I can. But if there's any questions that you guys have or anything like that, feel free to comment below. And I know I said in the beginning to like and subscribe, but if you're here following along, please like and subscribe. It will definitely help the channel out. Let me know what you think we should do for the next. There's a couple of actually sketchbook pages that I have drawn out that I haven't decided what kind of medium. Is it going to be gouache? Is it going to be marker? What have you? And so I will be doing some of those, but I don't think I captured the drawing on all of those. So you guys will have to let me know. You like the drawing part, you like the marker part better, or which stuff you like to see more, or and all that good stuff. For this channel, I think I really want to. I'm kind of tackling it like doing the stuff that I like, that I'm intrigued at, any new stuff that I'm interested in, and all that kind of stuff. And as you guys tell me what you want to see, and or what you guys are enjoying and stuff, where that stuff overlaps is where the channel will continue to grow. Because you gotta want to watch it, and I gotta want to do it, right? So that seems the logical way. But until I figure out all those things, I'm going to keep just trying new things. And so like ideas I have in mind are, I've got some new art items that I haven't tried out. And so I figured I could take you guys along with me on trying out some of those items. Some ideas of sitting down and doing some swatches, not just swatches of stuff, but more like color stories, or not into color theory exactly, but kind of exploring some different colors and what they can do together, and some different mixes, and maybe making something out of it. I've got lots of different ideas and stuff, so you guys will have to let me know what you guys are enjoying, what you think about everything. So I think I am going to let you guys chill to the music again and just kind of watch the video. I may or may not jump back in at the end, but in case I don't, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. And hopefully you will be joining me on the next video. So if I don't talk to you again, thank you. Have a good one.